folks, if you'll just gather around a little closer now. Come right in a little closer. That's it. That's fine, folks.
All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Universal Boxing Organization vacant African light heavyweight title. Contested by Basti Samir. 20 wins, 18 inside the distance. 1 loss going into the fight. BoxRec haven't updated the results. He took on the 5 wins, 5 knockouts, 1 loss, 1 draw. Idawu Rashid. So Samir, the shorter man, landed some thudding body shots, but there was no head movement as he tried to get close to his taller, rangier opponent, who landed a vicious right uppercut on Samir and followed up with a combination, had him all over the place. The referee stops the action and points to the Nigerian's head. It's Nigeria versus Ghana, in Ghana. Accra, birthplace of Azuma Nelson, who I recognized in the ring before the action started. So, okay, fight carries on. First round. Rashid, the Nigerian, then lands a left hook. Samir's legs go all over the place, and the referee stops the action and called for another infringement on Rashid, the Nigerian. This is some of the worst corruption I've seen in a boxing ring ever. The round ends with him exchanging hard punches. Samir going to the body, Rashid countering off the ropes. Second round, Rashid lands that right uppercut again. Samir is in all types of issues. A left hook puts him on the canvas. Seemed to get a long time to recover. At least 20 seconds. At least. Action continues. Samir can't avoid these uppercuts. Right uppercuts and left uppercuts. And then he's pinned in a corner and a left hook deposits him on the canvas, but not before his head bounces off the bottom of the ring post. Clean knockout, as you want to see.
Therefore, referee scored about a technical draw.
And I hope Azuma Nelson wasn't involved in this corruption, because that's a boxing hero of mine. I hope he's not involved. Basti Samir was on the canvas for a long time. It was a bad knockout, and they were working feverishly hard to try and revive him. He was okay. The Ghana Boxing Authority officials at ringside declared the fight a technical draw due to an illegal blow from Rashid. After watching several videos of the fight, the UBO is not able to see any illegal blows from Mr. Rashid. No championship sanctioning organisation, including the UBO, has the power to overturn an official result, as this is something only the local boxing commission, in this case the Ghana, or the corrupt Ghana Boxing Authority can do. But because the title remained vacant, the UBO is in position and has power to extraordinarily decide on its ownership. So in the record books, it will be declared a draw, but the title goes to Rashid. The UBO are not having it, and rightly so. And rightly so. They say they can't see anything that Mr. Rashid did wrong. He was a victim of blatant injustice and put on an amazing performance. He did. We feel it is only right that Mr. Rashid is recognised as the UBO African Light Heavyweight Champion. We have since been informed in writing by the Ghana Boxing Authority that they indeed intend to overturn the result and declare Rashid the official winner by second round knockout. And they should do. They should do. It is human to make mistakes, and we are glad that the Ghana Boxing Authority has reportedly made the right decision regarding the official result, and will report this accordingly to all record keepers and other relevant parties. Did I say it's acceptable to make a mistake? Ain't no mistake. And if there is a rematch, Rashid's got the belt. Why would he go back there? Unless he's a total mug. Rashid's chief second wasn't best pleased, obviously.
I don't know what's
It's a technical knockout. We stopped him. It has never happened anywhere in the world. We're about to stop for 40 minutes and they want the fight to take back.
Nobody can tell us about boxing.
So what do you think are the verdict of
About boxing.
So what do you think are the verdict of the judges? What do you think about the verdict of the judges?
Now, the government in Ghana might have other issues to prioritize, but an investigation needs to be done into the Ghanaian Boxing Authority. I don't believe this is the first incident of mass corruption over there. This is the first I've heard about, and a lot of people outside of Ghana have heard about. But it looks like they're getting off a little light, in my opinion. Boots said he's got bills and a family to take care of. He can't be just sitting around waiting. It's like going to work and they ain't got enough hours for you. I wasn't getting enough hours, but it's no hard feelings towards PBC. They guided my career. They got me to where I am now. Signing with Eddie Hearn is a big deal. He's going to back me 100%. Now, that should clear something up. He said he's got no hard feelings towards PBC. They guided me and got me to where I am. So he acknowledges he was a PBC fighter. It's these numbers. He wasn't a PBC fighter. When all his fights since when? 2019 were on the PBC, but he's not a PBC fighter. And maybe because of the shock, horror that these PBC fans are going through, he felt obligated to give them an explanation. With Wilder leaving, with Boots leaving, but let's keep it real. Boots.
You ain't got to explain shit.
Now before we carry on, we've got to big up No Smoke Boxing and No Smoke Sport. They're on Twitter, they're on YouTube. And there's also Everything Boxing. They're doing a great job, putting a lot of content out there, like keeping us updated every second on Twitter. It's good for feeder channels like me who do content extending on what they post up. And from what they're saying here, STANIONIS, WBA regular belt holder, is saying that he's a free agent. He's no longer tied with the PBC. His fight with Gabriel Maestre is a one-off on the PBC. And he hopes to fight Boots for the IBF title. Now, I've heard some people say it could be a unification. Well, it can't be a unification if he's got the lower tier belt to Terence Crawford. The only unification can be with Crawford and Ennis from the WBA's end. But if he's prepared to go up the strap and challenge Ennis, that's good. It's a good fight. So more and more fighters are keen to let you know that they're not tied or affiliated to the PBC. They're not renewing them long-term contracts. They're staying free agents or they're looking to go elsewhere. And I never said they're just abandoning the PBC. They'll work with them on one-offs like what Stanionis is doing. But as for tying himself long-term, what sense does that make? They don't have the dates. Jamal Charlo has invoked his right as WBA 154 champion in recess to be next opponent for TITLIST Israel Madrimov via letter sent to the WBA this week. Somebody replied, is this the PBC's way to try and interfere with Bud fighting Madrimov? Everything Boxing tells us preliminary talks have reportedly taken place to make a fight between Israel Madrimov, champion, and Terence Crawford, unified welterweight champion, on August the 3rd at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Matchroom would handle the promotion and do the event with TURKI ALISHEIKE via Boxing Scene. Jamel has sat on his ass since that no-show against Canelo last October, and all of a sudden he pipes up for smoke. It's very PBC, it's very bootleg Ben Shalom. I wouldn't put it past the PBC to try and block Terence Crawford. But Steve Kim, he said it shouldn't be an issue. Ring IQ said more than likely Jamel is sniffing around for some step-aside money. Probably don't really want no Madrimov smoke. And if Jamel or Jamal, I know it's two different brothers, but it's all one big mess. If he goes straight into a Madrimov fight after that Canelo performance, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. Inactive. He's not a kid no more. He's 33. He needs a tune-up. He needs some kind of tune-up. And as for him going back down to 154 when his last fight was at 168, it's like him trying to fit back into them trousers that he wore when he was 17 in 2007. Boy, come on now. You're a big man now. You know what I mean? I squeezed back down into 154. Come on, bro. Go to 160. Fight Johnny Beck. Fight Adames. He's got a belt there at the PBC. Lara, he's got a trinket at the PBC. Or he can fight his brother. His brother's got a strap there as well. There's loads of fights there at 160 for him. Surely he's not going back down to 154 in all seriousness. Can't be 100%, but my opinion is they're trying to inconvenience Terence Crawford. Alex Krashuk, Alexander Usyk's promoter, is bemused by TURKI ALISHEIKE's claim that British fighters are the best in the world. Krashuk obviously has an issue with that opinion because TURKI said this at Tyson Fury's presser in Morecambe last week. He wasn't there in the flesh, but he phoned in and said he feels British fighters are the best. Now, Krashuk said His Excellency mentioned that British fighters were the best in the world, but he omitted the fact that the future undisputed heavyweight champion had a Ukrainian passport, Krashuk told WBN. Well, in all fairness to TURKI, Krashuk, that's your opinion, but the fight hasn't taken place yet. It hasn't taken place yet. And he said, Mr. ALISHEIKE is great, an honourable man and a big fan of boxing. It is his right to choose his favourite in the biggest fight of the century. We respect him a lot and trust that this boxing match will be contested at the highest level of integrity and sportsmanship. However, we have taken care of the selection of the officials. Those selections will be made on mutual ground, insisted Krashuk. Now, I don't like what Krashuk is saying, because we haven't seen no corruption in none of the fights over Saudi Arabia. We haven't seen any. In my opinion, I haven't seen no corruption. I haven't seen any corruption. I mean, you saw what happened in Ghana in my earlier story. The closest thing to a robbery, and it wasn't a robbery, was Ngannou versus Fury. Yeah, I thought Ngannou won, but it wasn't a robbery. Now, when Turkey is expressing what he's saying, he said he likes Mark Chamberlain. That's his favourite fighter. A good fighter, for whatever reason, that's his favourite fighter, and he's a domestic-level British lightweight. I think Turkey's affinity with the UK is the enthusiasm, which you don't see at the PBC. They have no promoter. Bob Arum, he's doing his best, but he's an old guy. The two top promoters in America became old with all this social media, with all this Saudi Arabia, with all these changes in boxing. They became old. The fact that it hasn't twigged to people, cha-ching, you need to replace Bob Arum and Don King to get back in the fucking game. And you hear people outside the UK always saying the Brits have got the best fans. They've got the best appetite for boxing. You know, I think part of Turkey's statement was because he was talking in a presser located in England. So, you know, cheesy comment, yeah, the Brits are the best. You know what I mean? I don't think British fighters are the best. In the heavyweight division, I have USYK #1. I have Joshua 2. I have Fury 3. I think what he said got lost in translation a little. He said the best fighters, but I think his favourite fighters, maybe the Brits. The real Devin Haney on Twitter. At the official weigh-in, Ryan is 3 pounds over. Ceremonial weigh-in is still to come. At a press conference yesterday, Ryan and Devin had a bet. They shook on it that there'll be a forfeit of 500 grand per pound over the weight. The bet still stands. He's $1.5 million down at the moment. It looks like Ryan won't be able to challenge for the belt unless he can take off the excess. We'll see. This is what I said in my last upload. The scales are still going to be an issue with this erratic behaviour. And Golden Boy are at a crossroads with Ryan. Yeah, we know he helped Tank sell a whole load of pay-per-view and you're banking on him doing that again. But the antics are absolutely ridiculous. And then missing the weight as well. And if he does kill himself to take off the excess, he's a dead man walking in there, if he wasn't already. They're not going to bring Arnold Barboza in like they suggested they would if Ryan has a mental breakdown or fucks up on the scales like he's just did. They're not going to do that. You know what I mean? They'll have to refund too much tickets. So they're probably still trying to work out a deal so it still goes ahead.
Get to the fight. I'm weak as I know I'm going to lose. I don't give a this is my chance. And then, boom. Obviously I lost, but I felt peace. Everybody thought it would be sad. I felt peace. Because I felt like I did something for God. And after that, I felt real spiritual strength. And I felt strong. And I felt nobody could touch me. Nobody's ever going to do that to me in negotiations ever again. Nobody's going to ever play me ever again. And now I'm coming different. Here we go.
And it seems pretty obvious what's going on here. Ryan has a lot of psychological issues, which have been accentuated by that loss to Tank last year, where he agreed to the rehydration clause. And now he's at a point where he doesn't care about the rules. He doesn't care about the belts. He just wants the satisfaction of beating Devin rather than being WBC 140-pound champion. That's all he wants. So I don't believe Team Ryan was ever planning to come in at 140. I don't believe that. If he had an easier opponent to fight for the belt, he would have made weight, but he's scared of losing. You can hear it from that snippet. And in all truth, if he does lose, he's going to get hammered post-fight. Hammered really badly. I'm not going to write him off, say he can't come back, but I think most the critics and media would have written him off. In my opinion, he's scared of losing, but perhaps maybe not as much as the backlash he will get from social media if he does lose. That terrifies him, in my opinion.
Ready? Here's the win. Ryan misses weight by 3.2 pounds. Give me a reaction.
Someone said to me, there's no way he's going to make weight. And I said, there's no way he's going to make weight. And then yesterday, at the weigh-in, he lifted his top up and I thought, I think he'll make weight. But he was 3 pounds over. It is what it is. You know, I mean, Devin's defending his title. I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. It might tell you a little bit more about Ryan's preparation for this fight. But he's going to be dangerous. They're both going to rehydrate to a big number. Devin does anyway. Yeah. So Ryan will. So he's going to be punching hard in there tomorrow night.
Ryan's antics with the beer, the facial expressions, the screaming and shouting, not making the weight. He doesn't really deserve the purse he's getting. And then to talk about $1.5 million is light work for him to give away when he's making that money out of mine and your subscription and whoever bought tickets. I wish Barboza got the fight. That's all I can say. And I had something to do why I couldn't finish the video earlier. And it's a good thing because if I'd done it at that time, it would have been a different ending. But the fact that he can't conduct himself like an adult, and there's so many grown people there, like there's all-time great boxers there, people of status all around him, and nobody could go up to him and tell him to shut the fuck up and act like an adult, is a damning indictment on the game of boxing. Anyway, let me turn my attention away from that. Ryan can only box at one height. He did catch Luke Campbell with that body shot he did, but we've seen him with his chin in the air and it just hasn't got exposed. Then again, Luke Campbell did expose it, he just didn't follow up for some reason. In this fight here, I expect Devin to go to Ryan's body like he did Lomachenko, and I don't think he's going to move as much. Now, if Ryan can land a sweeping left hook and take Devin out, because I think Devin's going to take more chances, then we'll have to give him credit for the W, though he doesn't go home champion. Devin knows how to body punch. He used to train with Mike McCallum, and I saw some of the drills. He knows how to body punch. He can fight more than one way. I expect Devin to win. He showed he can punch at 140 against Regis Prograis. Now, can he continue and perhaps improve on that? Like Tank, you know, and short compact hooks he throws against an admittedly depleted Ryan Garcia. He looked devastating, and I don't think Devin can punch like Tank. Ryan's going to come in big, Devin's going to come in big. So whether coming in big will help Ryan's punch resistance, that could be cancelled out, because Devin will be coming in big as well. But, you know, obviously Devin made the weight and Ryan didn't. How much bearing that will have, I don't know. If Devin can't hurt Ryan, Ryan could become emboldened. But if Devin does hurt Ryan, he'll likely go into his shell. I see a points win for Devin. They talk about Ryan's speed. A few people told me about Ryan's speed before the Gervonta Davis fight. I said, the speed you see Ryan using is on heavy bags or in training drills. I'm not saying he's slow. I just think Devin uses the ring better. He adapts better. The better opposition he's faced is going to put him in good stead. So whether it's a points victory or a late stoppage is all good. Points or late stoppage, Devin. Could Ryan make it competitive? If he can land some power shots and hurt Devin, yeah, perhaps he could. And then Devin will be under scrutiny. If this is a tough fight, it'll probably redeem Ryan more than Devin will get for eking out a tough points decision over Ryan. The psychological discussion, I don't think it's so much what Ryan has been doing that will get to Devin. I think perhaps the expectation that maybe he should stop Ryan because Ryan doesn't know what he's doing and he's unstable, supposedly, could force him to make mistakes. And with Ryan, with all he's been doing, a crash could come at any time. Like, what goes up must come down. You see the facial expressions, you see the screaming, the shouting, the profanity. Well, if you can keep that energy until the first bell and onward, then yeah, it could be effective, it could be. But it might be better to keep an even kill, not too high, not too low. You know, you could crash the morning of the fight, you could crash just before the first bell, you could take a hard shot and then crash. And then it's all downhill, isn't it? And the biggest issue Ryan has is nobody can tell him anything. A little like Adrian Broner. Nobody could tell him anything. Remember when Floyd told Adrian to go and lie down the day before the fight? After the weigh-in, there was a gathering and Adrian was the center of it. And he wouldn't switch off and listen to Floyd. And then years later, he used to complain that Floyd didn't teach me how to fight them guys. He didn't teach me. And he did teach you. He was teaching you. He told you to go and lie down. Conserve your energy. Think about it. Go talk to your trainer. Read a book. Remember his trainer? Is it Mike Stafford? Apologies if I got it wrong. When he was getting his ass handed to him by Marcus Maidana. And he tried to give Adrian some instructions. And Adrian was like, I know what to do. Dismissing him. And then, you know, he proceeded to get his ass whooped and lose his unbeaten record. You know, if Ryan has got multiple weight champions guiding his career like B-Hop and Oscar De La Hoya, when Oscar was on camera, and he said, I really don't like Ryan taking this Tank fight without taking a tune-up beforehand. I really don't like it. And you could see on his face that he knew this was a bad idea. And they can't talk to him. If Canelo couldn't talk to him and Eddie Reneso, that's his biggest issue, isn't it? Let's keep it real. Derek James is there, but Ryan is winging it. He's winging it. He's hoping that the antics all throughout the week has got to Devin. He's hoping not burdening himself with weight making is going to get him a W. And he's got Derek James there. I'm sure they got a game plan. Can he carry it out though? I think Ryan goes in there, tries to wing it, trying to catch lightning in a bottle. While Devin and Bill are a little more calculated. We've also got Ben Davison and Lee Wiley doing the groundwork, breaking down the fight, breaking down Ryan Garcia, how to exploit his weaknesses. The Oscar Duarte fight, Ryan showed he can win when he's not getting it all his own way, which is a good trait. That won't be enough against Devin though. The whole ceremonial weighing shit is trash. I'm sure we would have liked to have seen him screw up on the scales with our own eyes. And then the ceremonial shit, at least try and make it look authentic. They're weighing in their tracksuit bottoms. They have their sneakers on as well. Come on, man. At least try and make it look a little authentic.